Hi, I'm Natasha Lockhart. Thanksgiving is upon us, and it's time to review your blessings.
I'm Stacy Beck, and as we count our blessings, we might consider ways of serving others. We'll talk about some ideas to help.
And I'm Angie Murphy. Divorce is a major life change. We'll talk about how to thrive through the struggles.
Also, every age can be exciting, and we'll talk about your fabulous 50s. All this and more on Studio Chatter. Welcome to Studio Chatter. How are we doing?
So good, but it's been so long.
It's been a long time. And we still lost you in the corn, I feel like.
My mom was
find
concerned.
Stacey.
She's like, did she ever come out? I'm like, Mom, did you not watch the rest? We met her back
We
in the
did
salon.
meet her up finally.
We look great.
That was so fun. Well, do you want me to tell you why I look great?
Yeah,
Sure.
Because I am wearing my sister's closet dress.
And I'm wearing my sister's closet shirt.
Well, I'm wearing my sister's closet sweater.
Wow.
So we thank you,
You
my
guys,
sister's
I have
closet.
loved this. I wore it to my niece's wedding with a big full like black skirt with my
Yeah.
boots. So cute. Then I can dress it with Levi's. It's just so transitional.
Okay, but don't
I
you
love
love
it.
fall season to wear just to pull
Well,
out
we
your
went
sweaters
shopping
and
there.
your long
You guys,
sleeves?
I went back there the next week. I can't get enough of
Oh,
it.
you
Like,
really
there's
can't.
really
you
great
really
stuff there.
can't. I mean, you could go there every week.
everywhere.
They're just
They have new
replenishing
things,
and the
yeah.
cutest.
So
You'll
I'm
never
sure
go
they
wrong.
don't have any of this left.
No,
like,
it's gone.
This is a full-length dress, which I get so many comments on, and I can wear it with flats or heels. But I got this in September. So
I
I'm
love
sure
it.
it's long gone.
Me and Natasha are too short for it, but
Right. Yes.
But
Well,
then
we
you're-
will never wear maxi
You're
dresses.
long,
Darn
long
it.
Sweater.
Yes, I'm
I
loving
love
the
it.
I'm loving the sweater.
Oh.
I love sweater
And I
weather.
love plum.
yep.
Do you?
I love plum. I don't love
You're
purple.
Okay.
Two big, huge differences.
Right.
there.
Okay.
Yes,
Well,
uh-huh.
speaking of new things, we also have a new Instagram.
It's fun.
It is
Thanks
fun.
to our cute Stacy. Like honestly,
Oh,
thank
stop.
you for helping us with
Well,
that.
I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be some behind the scenes. So all of our viewers, make sure you're following us on Facebook and Instagram because we're going to do things a little different when the cameras are off. But on Instagram,
Some like
we're
little
gonna post
outtakes or like things we
Yeah.
forget, and then you guys and post back to us like stuff you want to hear us talk about or
agree,
ask
yeah.
us. Like if we're not going a certain direction, give us some ideas.
Yeah, or if you want to be a guest, if
Yes.
you have a story to share. It's not just
We'd
businesses.
love to
we
hear
want
it.
to hear someone's
Yeah.
story.
Stepping
Yep.
up our social media
Yeah,
game.
we are.
So.
We're going to be current. Maybe tweet or Twitter one day.
No, I'm drawing the line.
Now,
Oh.
friend, we were also mum for a very long time because we were not talking about the re-election, but congratulations are
Yes.
in order for you.
It's so nice to have the campaigning over, but I'm so humbled. Like just to
you
know that
did such a good
people
job.
trust
People
me
love
and
you. Yep, you've done
that-
some good things.
That they reach out and trust me and hope that I represent.
You
them
do. You do an
So,
awesome job.
I love it.
And the
And,
community,
and you can feel it
you
that you
can.
love it.
And the community's growing. I feel like this excitement or something in the city. I think so
Yeah.
many new things and projects and yeah.
Oh,
I'm excited
I'm
to hear the
excited.
back end of that from you.
I'm excited. And you're
So-
traveling again for work. You're a busy
Yes,
little bee.
no. Well, I'm not traveling anymore. I have been traveling.
Okay.
So I just returned from Las Vegas, I just returned from Seattle, and I just returned from Chicago. But the coolest thing ever, and we actually
What?
talked about it here one time when I was
Oh,
in Chicago.
yes. Did you go
I
eat
actually, no, better. I got to see the president.
Oh,
You did not?
I
Oh,
did.
that's right, I didn't
know about it.
Yes, I got to
You have to
see.
be on Instagram.
Bo just went to Washington, D.C. with the high school, and I was like, did you get a picture with Trump? Not happening. But they did get to meet Mitt Romney and have
good.
like a little 5-minute interview.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
And John Curtis. Is he
Yeah.
there like just right now with the class? Okay. 'cause I
no,
know
he
some-
was last week.
Okay, yep,
Yep.
that's what it was.
So very
jealous.
surreal. Like it was, so I was at the International Association of Chiefs of Police. So it was right there in the heart of Chicago. I mean, in the same room.
So did you get to shake his hand?
No.
Okay,
no,
so what happened?
Not quite that cool, but I mean, just the fact that they're playing the president's playlist and he comes out and he makes this amazing delivery to all of the chiefs of police and all of the attendees that are there. He calls out the superintendent of Chicago for not being there and at least not respecting the presidency. So that was kind of crazy.
Wow, in your face, that's him?
Yes, very, very much.
Right.
And then we watched an executive bill be signed right there, and how he, shared around the Sharpie to everyone. So it was, I mean, it's just one of those moments where you're like, I don't really know that I will ever be somewhere again where you get to see the
I
president.
respect that office. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That's
So that
really
was,
neat.
was good.
That is my dream.
To meet any president, Democrat or Republican,
So
you'll
sad.
take him.
The whole time, like, oh, send me a picture of this. I mean, they went to Arlington, went to all the sites, and I am just dying inside. I wish I was in high school. No.
Angie, we could go together because
We
I
sh-
haven't been either.
Okay, we should go.
And we could invite Natasha.
Yeah,
Should we do a girls trip? Studio chatter girls
You
trip.
would love
Pea
the
and
history of
Travis.
Chicago.
I would
also.
love it. I would eat it up.
Yes, it
I
was. It
would.
was amazing.
Well, are we talking Chicago or DC?
I'm
Both.
talking
DC.
DC.
DC is amazing, but
Okay.
you would love the history of Chicago also.
okay.
So,
Yeah, I'm sure I would.
So-
I love history.
Yes, but ready to be grounded for a while, get into the holiday season, give back in the community, and get ready for the holidays.
Yep,
But
I
we
agree.
have 2 guests tonight, but they're going to be solid.
They are
Like
super
I'm
solid.
excited.
They are great women.
Connie, we could have on for a solid hour, and just
And just sit there and just
no.
take notes.
I just want to carry Connie in my back pocket,
I
literally.
know,
Like
and
she
have her
has the
remind
best.
me
Yes.
of her little Connie-isms, which we'll talk about a little bit more. I'm
yes,
hoping.
she's just
I might
so
need to set up a
amazing.
private appointment with her on her little website, and just say,
It would
Connie,
be worth the time.
Here's my one question: guide me.
guide me. Oh,
Yep.
she's good.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see her.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, and cute
she's
Wendy's
fun.
just amazing, doing so much for our community. So
yeah. So
good ladies.
yeah.
Going to be a fantastic show. Next on Studio Chatter, looking for a wonderful service opportunity, we've got some for you. That's coming right up. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Thanksgiving and the Christmas holidays offer us great reminders of the need to give, and for one organization in our community, that need to give lasts all year. How can we help the cause? Welcome Wendy Osborne from Tabitha's Way to our table. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank
Always
you
a
for
pleasure to
having
have you
me.
here.
Yes,
I
it is.
appreciate the invite to come back. Last time I didn't have my voice, so this time I do. So
Oh, good.
I'm excited.
And you look fabulous.
I know
You were very kind. I had to up my game to be with you
Oh,
ladies.
stop
so,
it.
you know.
Well, you're entering a busy season.
We are.
You give all year. Most of us
I just
think
got
to
to
give
work
right
with her
now.
with the football team and do the backpacks at back to school
Yes.
time, which was so fantastic.
It is.
That was really
I call
fun.
it organized chaos.
Yeah,
It's a
it
blast.
was, and then it started to rain, but we still did it.
Yes, yes, and the
really
energy
neat.
that all the football players had, it's so cute to see some of the younger kids come in and they get to see these young men and their shirts. They're wearing their T-shirts. One year they came in their uniforms, and the younger kids were just like, oh, you know, they were
football
just
players.
so
Just
yeah,
wanna
they
play
were
with
just
them
just
and hang
enamored
out.
with the football players and Miss
Yeah.
Utah.
Yep.
Doxana
So,
came, and
yeah.
so
Well,
it was a
serving
blast.
and giving back has become just a way of life for you. You've built this nonprofit around it, and you have all of these amazing people that help you. This time of year, for some reason, seems to make us more all very conscious of wanting to
give more.
give back. Why do you think that is this time of year, especially? I mean, I think we know why, but do you see an increase, or what would you love to see more of throughout the year?
You're correct. I think that during these winter months, we have these holiday seasons where families are gathered together and they're thinking about, well, we're grateful for what we have. We have so much that we can be grateful for. And then it moves to what outside of my home, how can I help? Which is a beautiful thing. It is a wonderful thing. And nonprofits just soak up like a sponge when this season comes. We're grateful for the help and for people reaching out beyond their circle to help people in the community. But you're correct that there's need throughout the entire year. I think it's interesting with families. You have when kids are, when they're getting into school, you're busy getting kids back to school or in school, and there's all these activities and things like that. And then during the summer months, it's again. There's a lot of activities and things going on, sports and vacations and things like that. Again, but there's opportunity to serve, of course, now and also throughout the year. I like to tell people, there's actually it's not, I didn't coin this phrase, but there's another organization that coined the phrase, hunger doesn't take a vacation. And I love that saying. There's really something that can be done in your community throughout the entire year.
In our community, where is the lack? Where do we need to kind of up our game, or time of year, I guess?
Well, first I would say there's a lot of great nonprofits in Utah County. We're blessed because we have great organizations doing great things. It's really important. I would like to encourage individuals to first do some homework. First find out, first off, what is your heart telling you
speaks
what,
to you, yeah.
what, because everybody has their passion. Some it's animals, some it's rescuing people from sex trafficking, some it's mentoring women. Me, it's feeding families and children. And so find what calls to your heart, and then engage, become aware of the nonprofits in our community. And I like to call it boots on the ground. I think the best way for you to know how to help a cause or a nonprofit is to get engaged with them. Go volunteer, go visit their facility, go find out what they're doing and what their methodology is and what their mission is, and see how you can engage with that nonprofit and help that cause. I see a lot of times very well-meaning individuals who want to step in and help, and maybe a perfect example of this is somebody reached out to me a few months ago, and they had gathered certain items, and I won't kind of discuss what the items were, but the items weren't something that necessarily we could use, and they had gathered these items for a different nonprofit, and were trying to find a place or a home for them, and there wasn't actually a need in our community for that particular item because it fit a specific group. And so
do your homework.
Yes, do your homework
Before you start to collect or to do.
Yeah, because
right.
you want your efforts to fill a need, to help somebody. And then I see sometimes individuals get disappointed, like, oh, I did all this work and it didn't do anything, or I couldn't find a place to.
And then you're not taking it. Why?
Yes, yeah, and it's a sad thing, because it's like you had all this energy and excitement and motivation to do something good, and it just went flop,
So they're
and
just
nobody
doing
wants to see that.
their idea rather than researching it to see
seeing
if
what
the
it is.
organization
Yes,
does that.
yeah. Like there's organizations that specifically help individuals who are homeless or displaced. Tabitha's Way primarily focuses on families who are just going through a tough time. So these are families who are living in stable housing, but maybe there's an issue with temporary job loss. A lot of what we see is medical. Something happens in terms of somebody's cancer, surgery, some type of unexpected illness or disease that impacts the financial situation for a family. A lot of our families in our community are paying very high mortgage or housing costs, and so what happens then is if you're paying a lot, 50% or whatever in housing, and then your car breaks down and you're stretched and you're paycheck to paycheck. Well, now you're faced with, do I fix the car or do I buy food? And we don't have a food shortage in Utah. We have a food distribution problem. So we have ample food in our community. We just need to get that food to the people who are in need, who are in crisis. And that's what a food pantry does. So I invite people to come to our pantry. Please, I love nothing more than to have people come by our pantry, walk in, see what we're doing, ask questions. There's really important conversations that we can have in terms of how hunger impacts our community and how we can solve this issue together. And it's not a hard problem, but we need a lot of hands and a lot of feet and a lot of good-hearted people helping out. Last year, our South Pantry served over 51,000 individuals just in our South Pantry alone.
So when you say South Pantry,
That's Spanish Fork.
Tell everyone where your other
Oh,
one
okay.
is.
So we have an American Fork pantry. So we call them the two forks. It's kind of funny.
Oh,
but
cute.
yeah, that's God's divine plan there with the forks, because we were trying to find
Forks in the road.
Yeah, the
Oh, I
forks.
love
Well,
everything
it's
about that.
transitioned so much from where you
Forks to eat.
started.
Yes.
So I remember going into the original pantry and how the size and
Yeah.
to what it's grown into now, and
Yes.
it's such a nice facility, and I know that you're not really accepting clothing donations at the pantry location anymore per se, but you've added all of the locations to, you can drop the clothing items that are
all
then
over.
cashed
Yes.
out for more food, correct?
Exactly. A lot of people don't realize that those donation bins are actually to collect wearable, reusable clothing that we resell to local buyers, which provides local commerce, local sales tax, local jobs.
Interesting. I had no idea
And
that's what you did
provides
with it.
food for our community. So it goes back to our pantry feeding program. So it's a wonderful program. The average American discards about 80 to 90 pounds of clothing. So we women have our fashion.
Some
So
people
we're
could
gonna
use some more.
okay, we'll get you your own
Good thing
personal
I'm a
bin. You
shorty,
can have a.
right? I do. I would like one in our cul-de-sac.
Okay, there you go. I'll call you tomorrow. We'll get one place for
Okay,
you.
So Wendy, do you need help this season?
Yes. And how do we start? What
We
should
do. So first off, I'm excited because Tabitha's Way has a new website. So it's the same website, www.tabithasway.org. org. But what's awesome about it is there's a lot of information on there. The one thing you'll see is first the website will ask you which pantry is closest to you, north or south, so you can help your neighbors closest to you. The website also asks how to help or how to get help. So you can go right to the how to help page, and it goes through all these different things that you can do. You can sign up to come in and volunteer. Just a quick, if you want to just pop in, you have a few extra hours, pop in and volunteer. Just sign up on our website. If you want to volunteer on a regular basis, or if you have a group that wants to schedule and do to volunteer, or if you want to host a food drive or supply drive, you can go there and do all those things from our website. Then. Yes, I love it. I love it.
And you have a lot of things on Just Serve, that app too, right?
Yes. Just Serve's a wonderful app for us. We get a lot of people that it points a lot to our website, but it's a great tool that we've utilized as well.
And share with us this month what is Tabitha's doing to
during
give
this
back?
Month. November, I call it drive-by turkeying, but so in November, Tabitha's Way, between our 2 pantries, will provide over 900 complete Thanksgiving meals for local families and veterans and first responders in need. So we're super excited. And again, I also want to make sure that I stress that I don't do this. We do this. Wendy doesn't feed 51,000 people. This is a community effort. Tabitha's Way is a community pantry. We have the support of so many people in our community, and I'm so thankful for that. And so we'll be doing these Thanksgiving baskets with many other partners in our community. We have some events coming up in December as well where you can participate. So go to our website, see what we'll be doing. There's lots that you can be doing to help
Wendy,
out.
thank you.
Wow.
So thank you for having me.
You are amazing.
I know you just said everyone does it, which makes sense. Everyone does help.
But somebody has to drive that.
You had the vision years ago to do it, and you love. I mean, you called me weeks ago concerned about another county's hunger problem. I'm like, Wendy is
is there another fork?
Exactly.
I'm trying to control the 2 forks I've got, but no, I appreciate the help of the community and the support. Tabitha's Way is the way it is because of our great community, and I am honored and blessed to get to do this every day. I have to pinch myself and say, thank you, God, for letting me do this.
Yeah. You're such a beautiful person.
You are.
Thank you.
Thank you
for educating us as well.
Wow.
Coming up next, we'll talk how to express our gratitude this holiday season. Stay with us. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Being thankful and expressing gratitude should be a daily attitude, not just during the holidays. Let's talk about being grateful every day.
I 100% agree with that comment. Yeah.
An attitude of gratitude.
Always.
Yeah. So what do you guys do in your personal life to express gratitude?
So I try to always have thank you notes on hand and as often as I can, and it doesn't always happen, but I really try, and if I can, to write a thank you note by hand, get it in the mail so the person knows that I'm genuine in my thanks.
Yes.
I know that a lot of people have gratitude journals. I write in mine occasionally. I don't write in it every day. I wish that I could. Do you write in yours every day?
A couple times a week.
Okay.
And I find that if I leave it out on my nightstand, I'm much better. And I don't put a limit. Like if it's I'm thankful for one thing, then that's good. And it adds up over time. What I find is, and I shared this with my daughters specifically, I find that you look for things during the day to be grateful for, so you can document it.
I like that.
You're more aware.
Yeah.
And I think that's the purpose. So you're looking for the good throughout your day rather than the negative or the sad,
That's so important.
downtrodden.
It's true, because
Yeah.
I think it's so easy to get caught up in the negative or focus on that one thing where you could just let fester, especially in work life. You're like, oh, I just, and it could pull you really downward. And if you can find that upward lifting, like, I'm just grateful to have a job. I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to live in a free country. Just all of those things that compile the list.
I think that the way that I show is probably by doing for the people that I love and service. And that came back to my mom. I remember years ago when I was struggling one time, and she said, get out of yourself and show, give service and love to others. And then that grateful heart just starts to build. But this I didn't want to cry. I didn't even know if I was going to bring it up, but my cute mom, as these two ladies know, has been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and when they found it, it's stage 5. So we're probably going to lose her pretty soon, but I have such a grateful heart because it's been such a hard time that the people that have reached out to us and have just done without being asked has shown to us how grateful they are to my mother and maybe to us. I had someone just drop off at my porch like a big 20-pack of Diet Coke with treats for me to take to my mom's. So when people came over, that there were treats there. There's been texts, her cute little nurses and everyone hugging and loving on her, and it has just shown to me the love that she's given to other people, she is receiving that love back. And so I think her grateful heart has been a huge service to the rest of us, and that legacy will live on. She truly was grateful for just minimal things. She will probably leave this earth with not a whole bunch of like physical riches, but she leaves the earth with such an abundance of the things that matter most.
Right.
Yeah.
But those are the things that people remember.
It is.
You know,
Yep.
whether you're going through the memories or one thing that just really resonates in my mind is one of our former Miss Spanish Forks, Dejana, who's going to be competing at the Miss America pageant. Her hashtag service team. How that is just instilled at such a young age and how that's carried on, and whether it's opening the door for somebody or if it is delivering that meal or writing the note or making someone just feel better about themselves and how you can uplift them, that lives on for forever.
It does. And I feel like if it's something good that pops into your mind to do it, do it.
Exactly.
Don't hold back. There's never anything bad, I don't think, that's ever become of something that's just something good that you do for someone
We all
else.
want to know that people are grateful for
Right.
what we do.
Right.
And oftentimes if people tell me, thank you, I'm like, oh, but that's just...
What I do. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You're like, no, but you need to let it sink in when people say, thank you for this or this.
Right,
or,
it really meant a lot to me. And I
Yeah.
did that to that person that dropped that off on my doorstep. I said, I just wrote her a little something, and I said, we had a really hard day. When I came home, that was just so thoughtful. It just hit me. It meant so much to me. She's like, oh, that was just so silly. And I said, no, not to me. It really meant a lot. And so I think to give that thanks back so that person knows that did mean a lot. I want to do it more. It kind of becomes a contagious.
Yeah.
Well, it's so much
service.
of that pay it forward attitude.
Yes.
Because you know when you're giving of yourself, how it makes you feel, and then how it makes the other person on the receiving end feel.
Definitely.
Pete was sharing a story when we came into the studio earlier, and we were kind of talking about gratitude, and he said that he had received a kind of an out of ordinary text from a previous employee that just said, hey, I had this challenge a couple of years ago, but I just wanted to express my thanks somehow to someone in my life, like every day. So whether it starts with
Wow.
that challenge, right? So he got a nice, just to get a nice text out of the blue, like you've impacted my life somehow
Yeah.
in this way. So I don't know, maybe in this season, if that's your personal challenge, maybe for the week, for the month. I know there's a lot of people sharing things on social media to say, grateful in the month of November.
And the things we take for granted, like going back to my mother, like she was a wonderful, beautiful person. How many times did I really thank her for those little things that she did for us and those kindnesses? And since all this has happened, we're expressing that love to her and telling her about those things, and she is so full. And I thought we need to do this more often to each other. It really builds people. We never know the position that they're in or what's going on in here that they need to hear those words of affirmation and how grateful we are for them.
Back in my 20s, in my first house, it was my first yard, and I did my best, and I got an anonymous little note in the mail. And I liked that it was anonymous, because you never know.
Right,
if you
right.
get one,
You-
right? And
yeah.
I get this note, and it said, thank you for your beautiful yard. Every time I go jogging through our neighborhood, I see it, and it makes my day happy.
Aw.
That was easily 25 years ago.
And
it
it's
stayed
just
with
stuck.
you.
It did, because I just was so touched, because I genuinely was trying to do my best. It was my first attempt at it, but I was so trying.
And to get that,
Yeah,
that back,
but
like
a
you're making a
personal
difference.
note.
Right.
Right.
But I just as much love that it was anonymous.
So
Maybe
don't
I
hold
need
it
to do
in. I
more.
think we need to not look at ourselves so much and look towards others. And I do think that what you give, you'll receive.
Yeah.
So you'll
Oh,
feel
most
that
definitely.
same, that same gratitude.
Love it.
Yep.
Coming up next on Studio Chatter, life is a roller coaster. Stay with us to talk about the ride. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. One thing that is constant in our lives is change, and it's how we deal with the changes that makes us or breaks us. And one of our favorite guests knows the transitions we are faced with. Welcome, Connie Sokol, to the table.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. So glad to be back.
We love you.
Thank you. I love you, ladies. It's like coming home. Like I feel like, okay, we need to do lunch here or something. It's
That
so
would
great.
be fun. And whenever we have you, we always have so much content. So tonight we're going to have
Just
you.
let
Overwhelm you.
Yes.
No, so
We're going to sit and absorb what
Yeah,
she
we're
teaches
just gonna
us.
listen.
Yep.
We're just going to focus on a couple because we could go so many different
Forever.
directions with you.
true.
Yes.
So let's start with some transitions. What are you seeing?
For women, specifically, I'm seeing transitions of these life shifts. So things that maybe they didn't expect or they didn't expect would be so hard. And one of the first ones that I'm hearing a lot from women is this transition into their fabulous 50s, which they don't think is so fabulous. Anybody there? Anyone there?
No,
Yeah.
we're getting close. No,
So
yes,
you're
you
like,
are.
no, no.
We are.
I'm not.
Is it fabulous?
It's so fabulous.
Okay.
I call it phase 2 because women don't understand. They tell me, oh my gosh, I don't know who I am anymore. My kids don't need me like they did, but they still need me. I don't know what I'm doing. And I say, worry not. Let us chat because I love the 50s. And the first thing I have to help them understand is embrace the shift. It's a shift and it's natural, it's normal, it's part of the package deal. So don't be afraid of it. They kind of feel like there's no real handbook out there, so I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing to still be a good mom and still be a good person fulfilling all these roles.
Right, I think because we're in transition between being a grandma, still being a mom.
Yes.
Where am I supposed to be on that
Where do I
spectrum?
fit?
Wear a ponytail or cut my hair short like a grandma?
Exactly. Do I wear cute jeans or do I wear sensible shoes? Right?
So your mom jeans.
Big question.
Right?
Mom jeans are kind of coming back
Right,
in.
right.
So you're kind of getting it away with
A
both.
little bit, a little bit.
I see them shift the gears. That's what I talk about. I do the same thing. I go from a 7-year-old to a 14-year-old to the high school 16-year-old to my daughter who's on serving a church mission in France. And I shift the gears, and that same question comes up. So then who am I, right? Because these guys don't want you to be a regular mom, and these little ones need you every second, right? So the biggest thing I say is just embrace the shift and open yourself up to it. And then the second thing is don't hesitate to set those healthy boundaries. When we hit that fabulous 50s, first we have to sort of step back and go, let me kind of collect where I've been so I can start getting an idea of where I'm going. So I encourage women to say, what have I learned? What have I become? Who have I become? What have I done that I have loved in my life? Because so often they haven't sat down for 2 minutes.
Because a lot of times you're just giving at that point.
All the
That's phase
time.
one.
It's like
And then
sticking an
maybe
IV in it.
Right,
Yeah.
and I feel like phase 2, you almost feel guilty then maybe allowing yourself to have a little bit of time,
Yeah.
but then it's finding that balance.
Yes.
I think, between
Healthy
saying
boundaries.
Yes.
Yes.
And the healthy boundaries and that guilt I hear so often. In fact, some women are saying that I just talked with some empty nester women and saying, what's your tips on parenting? And I just did this for another thing. And one lady said, I have so many women coming up to me saying, I had to get a job so I didn't have to deal with the babysitting the grandchildren issue. I went, what? Instead of having a candid conversation and figuring out a solution, they're like, I don't want to have to offend anybody. And I'm thinking, women, girl, go wash your face. Like, come on. It is this stage of life where we can be our bold self and we can say, love you, let's go to lunch. This is what this looks like for me. One lady gave a great suggestion. She said, I give my daughter 1 day a week. They chose a Tuesday. She said, I'm yours. From 9 to like 2.
Yeah.
And she said, if her daughter needs to get out of Dodge because she's exhausted, go, I've got the kids. If she wants her to clean, she cleans. If she just wants her to sit by her and chat while the kids play, that's what
Okay.
she does. And that's good for both of them. The daughter knows what to anticipate, the mom knows what she can give, and then she can still go live her life and enjoy those grandchildren she loves. But she knows those parents need that experience of raising their children themselves.
Because if we're wishy-washy, we're giving mixed signals.
We're
Like,
giving
I don't
mixed
want
signals.
to be with you or spend time
That's
with you.
right.
Really, I'm maybe a little exhausted and need some me time.
That's
so
right.
I think just
That's
setting
right.
it down.
Setting those healthy boundaries and not feeling guilty about it. You have raised those children and you have done that beautiful beautiful job, and they need that experience too. So know it's for their betterment. And it's you setting that boundary, you sitting down and saying, I love you so much that I'm going to let you have that experience, and this is what will work for me. These are big girl conversations.
Yeah,
Another
that is.
hard one I think would be is, let's say you're at home as a grandma, the mom's at home as a mom, and she just wants to come hang out with you all day. Because
You're still wanting
saying
your alone
I
time.
Make
Get
yourself
things
absent.
done.
yeah,
So where you feel like you got to drive around the block?
yeah,
or
you can
something?
say I can only watch your little one on Tuesday, but let's say someone just wants to come and hang out.
Right, right.
And then that's a tough conversation. Like, hi,
I love you.
only come over.
Yes,
But
I've got an hour and a
no,
half.
that is one of the things that I appreciate about you so much when you come and give us these words of wisdom. One of the wisest things you ever said to us was, we're not in that season.
Yes.
Give them the chocolate, put a Band-Aid on it, whatever. We're not in
Yes.
that we're not in that season. We're not in that
Yes.
stage of the game doing something else.
Perfect.
Sorry.
And that, oh, I love it. And being able to just say, that doesn't work for me. You know I love you, but that doesn't work for me right now.
I know. You need to write a book on wise tidbits.
I have a program on that.
Seriously, it's
That
so
doesn't
true.
work for
Women
me.
just need to have
And
some.
not even have healthy boundaries.
Women just need some of these skill sets and these tools, and we think we should know it. We think we should have it, but we don't until we're there. And then we just need a little bit of mentoring and guidance to say, here's some ways to handle that. And it's not just our children. It's I get from women. He's retired and he's driving me nuts. He follows me around the house all day long. So this brings us to the next thing. Well, then what do you want? Because it's like sand castle. You make the hole in the sand and the water's going to come in and fill it. So if you create that space and say, I'm available these times, but not these times, what are you going to do with it? And that's where I help women write a life vision. Get that vision in their mind of who am I and what do I want? And saying those very things. I am blah, blah, blah. Purpose-driven, organized, capable, creative, joyful, whatever. I am, and I want to. Making your bucket list and not feeling guilty for it. Women, I have the hardest time trying to help them see they have done all of these beautiful things for so many years. They've got life wisdom and experience and knowledge. And they say, well, I've been a stay-at-home mom. I don't really know what I do. I don't do much. I'm like, aha, let's go back through. You've organized events. You've run a house of 5 children. You've been able to get people here and there. You know all about dance and philosophy and all of these different things. You have all of this great stuff. What do you want to do? Yeah. And now they have to take ownership, and that's a scary thing because they're thinking, wow. And if they get pushback from a spouse or children, then it makes it even harder. So that's why a support group is super, super important, because women in their 50s need that, just that nudge, just like that. Some tips, some tools to be able to go, okay, I had that conversation, and everyone
Connie
go,
told me
yay,
I can
that's
say
right.
that doesn't work for me.
It's
That doesn't work for me.
It's horrible, she said it. And that's how it works when we are the moms. Remember, we have to be that influence. We have to be that example. Our kids are watching and taking our cues, and you know, they're velociraptors. They're going to poke that mom fence of where can I find a weakness, right? So I can get
There's
what I
a lot
want.
of weaknesses.
Yes.
Yep.
Well,
So
I have to
we
be reminded
stand
of that
firm.
constantly. Like, wait, I'm the mom. No,
That's right.
Wait,
This
I
is-
can
we're
say
not
no,
you,
and
right?
it's okay. It's not being mean.
That's right.
It's creating a boundary sometimes.
Creating a healthy boundary, and have to remind yourself this is a benefit to them in the long run, and say that to
And
them.
to ourselves.
Yeah, I always say building character. I'm just helping you build character.
That's another one.
Okay, there's another one. Let's be writing, building
We're going to
character.
put this on a vinyl
Yes.
on the wall.
know.
So think about that for yourselves. Being able to get clear about what is it that I really want, and then taking a bold step. And for some women, I'm talking to them and they're like, okay, I can't go do a big class, but I can paint the family room. All right, that's a great bold step. Anything you can do to refresh and renew and to see things through a new lens is so vital. We did that in our home. We changed out the comforters and the pillowcases, and we painted a nice pediment gray, refreshed everything, and it just gave this lift, everything like that. So consider some of the steps that you can take and just step outside that comfort zone. Some of these women, one woman I was working with, I do programs for women, and one woman I was working with, she came to me and she's like, I need to make money. I've been working our whole marriage. I need to keep making money, but I'm feeling so like this rumble. And I said, I know, I got you. So you got this rumble, you got this thing that means you're not in alignment. So let's get aligned. So we went through that, create a life plan. and be able to get her purpose statement and all of that stuff. And she could feel it. She said, I need to do something meaningful. So she was in a certain industry, and she said, I don't need to skip industries. I can just go teach women in this industry about more personal development. Well, she started doing that, and she was loving it. But then she came back and she was getting pushback from her husband of, you've always done it this way, so I need you to keep doing it this way, and I'm scared that we're not going to have the money that we've always had, right? But there's no one else living at home. So it was a shift for him and a shift for her. She had to be her bold self. That's another one. I say, be your bold self. Get aligned and then be your bold self. And so she had to be her bold self, and she went to him and said, this is how I'm feeling. I'm shifting, and I don't want you to be afraid. Even though inside she's like, she said, I don't want you to be afraid, but things are shifting and it's okay. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen and how it's going to bless and benefit our relationship. And it has. And now she wants to write a book. She has this message she knows she wants to share, and she's doing things she didn't think she could do.
Wow.
So
because we should find joy in this life. Sometimes as a mom, we give up some of that for ourselves to make everyone happy or to make the family work.
yes.
But it isn't a time to really be selfish, but I think it's a time that we can focus a little bit more on ourselves.
It's an absolute need for self-care. I talk about the mom pie. Everybody gets a slice, including you. And it doesn't mean we're at the spa all day. Well, maybe once in a while. But you're at the spa all day, right? It's not. What that means is that you are staying with that energy, and you are teaching your children balance. No, I'm pausing for joy. I love you. I'm taking 15 minutes for joy. Go help yourself in the fridge, right? This is what we need to teach them. And guess what? As women make that move, as they become the example, men and small children don't know how to do this necessarily until they see it in action. And then they go, oh, that's what that looks like. One woman came to me and she said, now that the kids have left the home, I can see really clearly the negative patterns my husband and I have in our communication and the way that people treat me. I can see it very clearly. And I'm like, well, what do you want to do about that? And so we went through some exercises to see what she could do and some phrases she could say. And this was scary. I mean, she was scared out of her mind to start shifting the way they're talking. And her husband, good man, but old school, right? Sit in the recliner, bring me my dinner. So she has this conversation with him a few times and shares with him some of the things she'd like to see done differently and what she's willing to do differently. Well, one day they're having this conversation, and he gets triggered, turns around and leaves the room. And a few minutes later, he comes back in and he looks at her and he says, I'm doing that thing you talked about. I'm sorry. Wow. First time in years, it's shifted their whole relationship. She went from being so scared and thinking, I don't know that I can stay in this relationship, to she is smiling when we're on our coach calls, she's laughing, and now she's setting healthy boundaries when they've had family get-togethers and old patterns are surfacing with people that are negative, and she's stopping them. She's changing the legacy, and that's what we do as women. And in this fabulous 50s, our brain shifts, our mind and soul shifts, we need to shift with it. And as we do, guess what happens? We give our family opportunity and choice to shift too. It's a thing of beauty.
Hold your thoughts right there. We're going to be shifting and coming back to our next segment. Coming up next, Connie will stay with us and talk about dealing with breakups and our relationships. Stay with us for more. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. When a relationship breaks apart, everything in your life could be questioned. How can we cope and thrive through such a transition? Connie, thanks for staying with us for this overwhelming topic.
And it is overwhelming. I get to have the privilege of talking with so many women who are going through this experience. And not just after 7 years or 10 years, but we're seeing a lot more of 22, 25, even 30-year marriages. A friend of mine just told me that she's going through a divorce after 38 years of marriage. And it used to be years ago, if you made it past the sort of the 15-year mark, 20-year, it was like, we're in, we're doing. Yep. And it's not like that anymore. There's a lot of pressure, environmental issues, a lot of genetic issues, a lot of passed down things that could have been kind of washed over or kind of put under the rug that are no longer able to do that. We actually have to start facing and dealing with these things. It's a difficult thing.
So I also think it's probably part of the culture. Like it's a big no-no. If you're married with covenants and that sort of thing here, that you shouldn't.
Yep, divorce is a no.
You should just stay. So what is changing, and why are women finally saying, I just Maybe men too. Why can't I stay anymore?
I think what I'm hearing when I'm talking to women is that there is a lot more knowledge now of what dysfunctional behaviors, mental illness, and things like that. And the dialogue has gotten so much more open, which is wonderful. I think knowledge is power. And I always tell women, first and foremost, get aware, get accurate knowledge. Because they'll talk to a friend who'll talk to a friend. Well, I think it's this and I think it's that, and that is not helpful. It's going to get accurate information. I know a lady just texted me the other day, and she's like, I think that I'm married to a narcissist. It's been 20-something years.
Poor thing.
And as she's going down the list, it's hitting all those 9 symptoms, and you only need 5 out of 9 for the disorder, and she's hitting every single one. And I can say things like texting, what about this, what about that, and sure as shooting, controlling the money, controlling her time. He's yelling and swearing at me and telling me it's my fault. That's gaslighting. I mean, all of these things going down and kind of checklisty. Now, I'm very careful in what I do because I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist, but I lead them to those people so they can get even more accurate information.
That's super important, I bet.
It's so important.
Not to just look on Google and say, I think this, so honey, sorry,
you
this
fit
what
that
you
bill.
got.
Yeah. It's so important to get that knowledge, and then I say, look for patterns. Look for what's broken, look for the patterns, because a one time here and a one time there, we're all not our best selves at different times. We're going through, it's environmental, maybe he's lost his job or whatever. There's different things. But then there's patterns, there's history. And when women start kind of journaling what the history is and really starting to look at what's happening, they start seeing those patterns and they start realizing, oh, it's not me. This is happening all the time. And I'm questioning myself, but I'm actually seeing that I'm not the one starting this. I'm not the one that's looking for it. I'm trying super hard to please you and you're not pleasable. Starting to see these patterns, and then they have something to work with that's not just, it's getting it out from here and on here. The first thing they'll say to me is, I feel like I'm crazy. And the first thing I get to say to them when I'm hearing their story, not knowing both sides, but hearing the patterns, I can say, you're not crazy. So go get informed and get help so that you can start making some informed decisions.
Do you have special people that you send people to that you feel
I
really
do.
good about?
In fact, it got to such a point where when I was talking with so many different women, I was hearing the same topics over and over. I need legal help. I need financial analyst. I need therapeutic help. And then the same thing. I don't have any money. He's hidden money. He's taking me to court. He's doing all of these things. He's taken off and now I'm with the kids or whatever. So I contacted a bunch of different experts that I vetted and know to be really wise and helpful. And I actually created a program, a little 6-week, 6-course program, so they can even binge watch it. And we all donated our time and energy for it so that they can get help in those 6 areas: legal, financial, emotional, parental, all of those things. So all they have to do is watch these modules, and then they do the suggested exercises that we tell them, and they get baseline, credible counsel so that they know they have a starting point to come from.
So what do you suggest for someone who feels like they're in a dysfunctional marriage or just leaning towards divorce? Where do you send them first?
It always depends on the person. So that's what I always say is get accurate information first. Then the second thing is I say get a support group. So whether it's a religious person you can trust, a support council like a support group, or a therapist or something like that, where you get support, go talk to a legal person. A lot of times they'll give you a free counseling session, so a free consult. So even a lawyer can give you a free consult, and you can say, I'm seeing these things, I feel like there's money being hidden, I don't know what to do with this, and they can give you very clear information. I've had different experiences with people who have personally come to me. I want to make it very clear, I'm not an advocate of divorce, but I always say divorce is not a solution, but sometimes it's a last option. And when there's abuse, there's addiction, there's adultery, there's those pieces where it's been not only happening, but it's been repetitive. That's, the children have to be considered, and she has to be considered, because they're getting to a place where they're literally melting down. They can't take it anymore, and who could?
Right.
So when I'm talking to someone, so for example, this gal, I told her, go get the information and get that support group. Another gal called me and said, we both have come to a place we know we need to divorce, and so I just wanted to get your thoughts on what's the steps to do from here. And I do help them. Once they know that they're divorcing, then I'll say, here, look at these steps of what you can do to get informed, right? But until that place, I say you have to know for yourself, because you're going to bear that burden burden of knowing that this is the choice that you've made.
Yeah.
So I say, go to the nth degree, and then I do that Ginger Rogers. I did everything he did backwards and in heels. I say, make sure you have your
good advice.
knowledge, right? And I'm a spiritual person, so I say, I go to God and I get my download. Is this the right thing to do? Because we really don't know the situation. And I can say from my personal experience, I'm so glad that I did things that didn't make sense to me at the time, but they made sense later. And I had peace through the whole thing. So for example, a lady called me the other day and she said, we've decided we're going to divorce. I want to know what some of the next steps that would be wise to take. And the thought I got was, I don't know if that's really where you're at. Now, I don't know this woman. I said, tell me some more. She told me the experience. He had experienced abuse when he was younger, and they had been married for a long time, and she said the last several years have just been so weird, out of the blue. And I said, listen, you've got this history of many, many years of a good marriage, and now you have weird. What does that tell you? To me, that says he finally feels safe that he can deal with this, but he's afraid you're not going to stick around. So he's making it brutal. Now, I don't know. I'm not a therapist. But I said what that says to me, and I could feel it in my soul. Sorry. I said, I think you need to try again and set healthy boundaries. You don't deserve to be in abusive situations, but let him know you're all in, and try that where he knows you're not leaving, but you are going to require healthy boundaries. And we got done with that conversation. We were both in tears, and she said, Connie, this wasn't what I expected, but I can feel that this is what I needed. So I'm super careful when people come to me. I like to send them to experts because I'm not one, but I also try to feel it out because every woman's situation is different. And you have to acknowledge that when you go to a friend or your mother-in-law or whatever.
And if they've been divorced, they're going to
they're going to have one thing and another thing.
Right.
And there's so many things. That's why I say, it doesn't matter what your religious beliefs are. You have to get close to the divine to know what this is, because this isn't just two people. This is a family. This is a community. This is friends, neighbors, everything that's involved, and it's worth fighting every fight for. And that being said, you do not need to stay in an abusive situation for yourself or your children.
Yes.
That's good. Good advice.
So then how do we survive after?
That's a whole
Yes.
other.
It could be a whole other, maybe a
Well,
tidbit.
I think it's super interesting that you look at different age groups, even because some of the things we talked about before, whether it's the culture or the age group, you can be in your 20s and it might just be a maturity and maybe made those decisions, at the wrong time or whatever, because you get wiser in years, even going into our fabulous 50s and all that that knowledge that you take with you. But sometimes I think you can get to a point too, and everybody talks about families or all of those involved, or we're staying for the kids, and those two people look at each other and say, why are we here? Or do we have anything in common? So when you're in the marriage, it's so important to make sure that you have that communication. And
Absolutely. And I always say to women, flourish in the thicket. I've talked with women who've been like, I'm so done. And I just feel like I'm not even myself, and I just want to cut it and go. And I say, flourish now in the thicket. What would you do differently now that you would do if you divorced him? Well, I'd lose weight, and I'd go and do this, and I'd take a class, and I'd do this, and I say, do it. Do it now and see what shifts in the relationship, and that may just be the thing. Now, this is not saying it's all her and it's not him or anything like that. What I'm saying is do what you have control over, so that if that is a place you absolutely have to go to, you have done every single thing possible. And I know for myself that that's the case for me. I know that I did everything and then did it all over and then did it all over again, years and years and years and years. Not one regret. But I also flourished even in the throes of, the most difficult times. I still focused on joy and purpose and thriving and helping my kids thrive. And so that I knew when I came to a certain point, I had no doubt. It was absolutely clear. And I was showing my children all the way along, which is so important to show them this example, how to try to strive for the healthiest relationship possible, no matter the situation. Because after, it doesn't all go away. You still have connection. You still have all of these pieces that you're still dealing with. So you've still got to be able the mindset of taking the high road, of being confident, being clear, being that conduit with the divine. You have to stay in that solid place for yourself and your children.
Yep, you've completely gone through the process to know you have the confidence.
Exactly. And that made it so much smoother for me and my children. I think that's why we were able to swiftly move into a place of peace, love, and joy. And that's so crucial when you're going through this.
So Connie, after watching both of these segments, I'm sure our viewers are like, hey, I would love to talk to Connie. What route is the best way to get a hold of you?
ConnieSokol.com, and we have free downloads. So text the number 31996. So 31996, whichever one you want. With the 2 segments we have, 5-day purpose challenge. You can get a 5-day purpose packet to develop your purpose for Fabulous 50s or whatever stage you're in. Just type 5-day, the words 5-day, to that number. Or if you want to do this Thrive Beyond Divorce, you can type Thrive Beyond. So just type Thrive Beyond to the same number, 31996, and we have free downloads and a free masterclass that you can watch and get more tips for these things.
Okay. And if people want to talk to you directly?
They can schedule a free consult call.
But they can do that all on your website?
All on my website. Go to ConnieSokol.com, and then they can email and they can get the scheduling link.
Okay.
We love you. We love your energy. We love your wisdom. We love everything about you. Let's go Christmas shopping together.
You got it! You got it! I love you guys. Love you women.
Thanks, Connie.
There's more studio chatter coming up. We made it. What did we learn?
Oh.
I always learn so much, guys. I hate doing this.
Oh, why? Oh, my word. I seriously.
To wrap it all up in a neat little package. I don't know. I think Tough This Way really hit me today. I really like that. I think maybe I'm just feeling that soft, kind heart.
Yeah.
And I want to do something that really makes a difference. So I'm going to look on our website.
Yes, there's certainly
And I'm
a good
excited for
place to
10
start.
years of 10 different items,
That's
10
awesome.
different service.
That was fun.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for me, Connie left so many nuggets that I
We'll
will
have her back.
Well, I will. I think I'm going to rewatch her 2 episodes
Oh, definitely.
because I wanted to sit and take notes, but I'm like, that's tacky. I won't take notes. I can just rewatch it.
Do you ever watch her on her Instagrams or her
Yeah.
Facebook Live? And I mean, she really is just
She's a
tidbits of.
plethora of like knowledge.
Yeah.
I don't
like
know
all
when
over the
she. I
place.
don't know when she sleeps. Like I had a silent chuckle to myself tonight when she was saying, "Help yourself to the refrigerator. I'm just having 5 minutes of joy," and I'm just imagining me saying
like,
that
"Don't
in my
touch the
fridge. Like, get out of the fridge. I can't have any joy if you're in the fridge. So her thought process. She's
Maybe
just
she
so
has
clever.
teenagers though.
Well, she has a caboose too. She has the little one too. Well,
That's
so
true.
you're right. Maybe it's completely different. I don't know. Connie, I'm gonna have to call you on that one.
She had tons of good advice though. Like
So
that
always,
doesn't work
yes.
for me,
Yeah.
all that. I love that.
I was at Costco yesterday.
These are
And
good.
have you? So
I've
you
had
Did
them.
this fall in your car?
Yeah.
I hate
Okay,
when that happens.
The packaging.
Are
OMG.
so cute.
And it's pink. Like what woman or girl doesn't want
Right.
this?
This is all for a
Right.
woman.
Milk
this whole
chocolate
design and
almond
marketing.
toffee
Of course it is,
clusters.
yes.
Have you tasted them?
No.
They are so
Okay.
yummy.
I took him to my staff meeting this morning. We ate half the bag,
Okay.
and then our camera crew and
That just reminded me, though. I think of something I hid from myself that I bought at Costco. I'm gonna go find it.
You hid it?
I hide
tree?
things from myself. A tree.
You hid it from yourself? I was
afraid.
thinking like your kids.
Oh well, from
Well,
them
if I
too.
hid it from myself, then I know I'd just go find it.
I just
well,
love
look, we
these.
have more treats.
They're
Ta-da.
perfect. It's a perfect
Okay,
crunch.
so holiday
Perfect combo.
treats. Sampling tonight. Frosted holiday cookies. Party animals. There
Like
you go.
animal cookies, kind of.
Yes.
limited
Frosted.
edition.
Those are cute.
Oh,
I like the packaging.
Oh joy!
joy! 5 cool winter designs. Red
I
colored
might
cream.
struggle. I might not get these open.
Want me to
So
try?
I'm thinking these are probably like red velvet-ish.
Good luck.
I thought they were maybe peppermint.
But what do you? Oh, you're thinking more red velvet.
I think
It's gonna pop. There we go.
Oh my word, you guys! Our birthday party. Speaking of pop, we need to have Stacy shoot the bag.
Yeah, we do.
You're great
We
at
should have
blowing
put it
things
across
up.
the room and had her
Yes,
blow it
you
up.
got it.
I did. I used
You got
my
it.
teeth.
See, I think I'm gonna go for an Oreo.
that was an amazing time too. So
That was
hopefully
fun.
you watched that episode.
And M's Cookies.
Mm-hmm.
She said she's gonna start doing classes.
I know. Mackenzie, my daughter, signing up.
Is she?
She loves that. Yep.
Yeah, I saw on her
I bet both my
Instagram
girls
today.
will.
Em does
that
not want to see my name
At the
on
Cookie
the
Crave,
roster.
they have
Yeah,
the
she
sugar
does,
cookies.
Natasha. Stop it.
Yeah, at the Cookie Crave, they have the M's Cookies package for Thanksgiving. Like a turkey leg, a turkey, like lots of cute things. So you can just stop by and get them. And she said she's going to keep them stocked all
She is
season.
so talented.
She's
thought,
so
okay, we
talented.
can kind of keep up with her. Like if she shows us, then we can do it. Negative. She was like done with the one part, going on to the next part. I was just like, hold on.
Right.
Stacy did well.
That was fun.
You're
You
very
guys did too.
artistic. No, I'm great to just be a customer, eat keto cookies, order cookies, all the
Buy what you need.
right. Kind of just one of those things.
I think these just taste like normal Oreos. It's just, and it even says red colored cream, same taste.
Oh,
And these are just animal cookies.
cookies.
But with red and green. Oh, they're good. I like an animal cookie.
Cookies in my mug.
So
Yeah.
coming up, I'm going to be at the Tabitha's Way Turkey, what did you call it? Turkey Drive?
900, over 900 families they serve. Is that what she said?
Yeah, between the two.
So we
So-
could check there also to see if they need more help with the deliveries. Do you basically
they
pick
don't.
up a,
She's full.
okay, you pick up as many as you are assigned?
Is that how they do
works?
it?
I don't know. Never done it. I just asked
I
her a
was
month
thinking
ago,
that
so-
they'd just come and
Yeah,
families
you just
pick it
drive
up.
through and they get a basket. It's like a Thanksgiving meal.
Oh, that, okay,
That's
so
what it
you're
is.
not, gotcha.
So, here's some good questions.
Okay.
Is your Christmas up?
No. It's been a
Should it
crazy
be?
couple of weeks, but I'm working on it.
You're working on it?
I would like to get it up next week. I love Thanksgiving. I hate to bypass it.
My husband says
But-
absolutely not till the day after
I kind
Christmas.
of like to do it that weekend also.
That's when I always do
But
it.
look at Thanksgiving is super late this year.
It
I
is.
feel like so I can't wait till that. 'cause
That
then
is
I don't
so much
enjoy
work.
Yeah, then you got to pound it all out in like 2 days and then
Yeah.
take it down.
Christmas
25 days
lights.
later. I didn't get on my people's schedule this year.
I got mine up this last week.
Did
well,
you?
my people did it.
Ours are too tall. Our peaks. My son-in-law
yeah,
tried
we're-
it last year and he fell off the roof.
Oh my word, it feels like, I mean, it's felt really warm. It feels kind of strange to be
It
putting
does.
lighting up, but it always hits really hard, so
Well,
We
it was
need
a
to
fun.
get there.
It was a fun show.
yes.
Yep.
Make sure you're following us on Facebook and Instagram.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for being here with us. We hope you enjoyed the chatter. Please tell a friend about us. You are, aren't you?